biker here. You joined me on a exploratory mission today. I'm testing out the camera position and microphone for my first motovlog. I'd like to say this is the first attempt. It's more like the third or fourth. Had all sorts of problems with wind, camera position, pointing up at the sky, down at the bike. I hope this time I've cracked it, and if I have, well, then you'll be watching it online. So stay tuned, folks. Let's go out and see what we can find. So yes, folks, the Bath biker, that relates primarily to my place of residence. I live in the city of Bath, although you could quite easily be forgiven for mistaking it as a village or a town. It is in fact a city. We have an abbey. Very beautiful city, very unique city. Very fortunate to be able to live here. And in the surrounding areas, I'm also very fortunate in the sense that there are some beautiful roads to ride. And I'm hoping that today I get to show you some of those. As I mentioned earlier, this is largely an exploratory mission, testing out the microphone, testing out the camera, making sure that it all works as you'd expect it to. A nice van driver. So we're picking up a bit of speed here now, and this is where I'd expect the wind problems to become a problem. Let's hope that's not the case, fingers crossed. Just making our way outside of town here now, ditching the city streets. Do a bit of filtering, jump the queue. Another biker here. Hello, sir. Main roads that leads in and out of Bath, and if you follow this along, it'll take you eventually to Bristol, the other nearby much larger city. Also a pretty cool place, but not quite as picturesque as Bath. One thing that I always think of when I think of Bath is it's the thing that people notice the most, I suppose, is the architecture. A lot of Bath limestone, very unique to this region, and it sort of makes you feel like you're not really in an English town or an English city. You feel like you're in a sort of quaint little Italian village, French village. It seems to have a lot more character than the rest of England. Not that England doesn't have any character. It's got bags of the stuff. Here we go, past the fire truck from first gear. 15 mile an hour, off we go. Excuse me, sir. No, alright, it's going to stay in the middle of the road. Well, whether the microphone and the camera are working or not, what a glorious day. I've popped out in my lunch break, which I will quite often do. It's a nice way to break up the day, have a ride out, dust the cobwebs off, get some fresh air. And on a day like this, why wouldn't you go for a ride? Wait for it. Thank you. In my honest opinion, I'd have to say that England is probably one of the best climates in the world for bike riding. The bikers amongst you will know that the safety gear that you should really be wearing in order to keep yourself safe is it's pretty hefty stuff. You know, if you're in 30-degree heat, stood still in traffic, you're going to get a sweat on. But England never really gets that hot, very rarely. The fact is, I mean, today I believe it's only 13, 14 degrees, but the sun's shining. I'm not wearing any of my base layers, just got my leathers on, and I'm perfectly comfortable. It's lovely, really. So you can see why biking is such a popular pastime, and there are some fantastic roads. I'm yet to explore many of these roads, and I'm working my way through them. At the moment, I've just explored the surrounding areas near where I live. Roads like this. This is one of my more typical rides I'm taking you on today. It's a nice, easy loop. Doesn't require too much planning or concentration. Actually, no, I take that back. You should always be concentrating on a bike. But I think what I mean by that is just it's nice. You can take in the scenery. It's not too intense, not an intimidating road. Road surface at times is not great on this particular stretch, but not bad at all. So to tell you a little bit about myself, folks, as I said, I live in Bath. It's not where I'm from, and nor is England for that matter. I was very fortunate again, in so much that I was actually born in Africa, in Kenya to be specific. And I went through all my schooling and grew up in South Africa, which if any of you have been out there, you'll know it's a really, really beautiful country. A little bit tormented, gets a little bit of a bad rap, and sometimes when you see things about it in the media, it doesn't come off great. But I'll be honest with you, it's Africa, as they say, the expression from the famous movie you may have seen, Blood Diamond. They use the expression there, TIA, this is Africa. And yeah, that's what it's all about. You just go with the flow, roll with the punches, and if you can move past all of its issues, it is a fantastic, fantastic country. Really, really beautiful, and well worth a visit. I really do, can't recommend it enough. Oh, got some traffic here. Cyclist on the road. Love cyclists. So yeah, anyway, I grew up in South Africa, and when I was 18 years old, relocated back to the UK, primarily for career reasons. People always ask me, what on earth are you doing here? It's a very good question. But I've grown to love England quite a bit, must be honest, and it has served my career well, so no complaints there. I'm planning to head back to South Africa in the coming months or the coming year. My plan is actually to do a bit of bike touring out there. I know I say they've got some incredible roads out here, but if you're going to go touring, you want to see some scenery, you want to see something interesting, you want to meet some interesting people, yeah, South Africa, Africa in general, that's where it's at. But now I live in Bath, and I'm relatively new to the whole biking scene. As I record this today, it's the beginning of April 2016, and I only passed my full bike license in November 2015, so not really been at this for very long at all. My plan is to use the motovlog to help others, I suppose. You might find what I've got to say interesting, you might not. But hopefully those that are new to biking might find some of the things that I have to say, some of the things that I've learned, useful. Here we go, let's go. Lovely. I love about biking so far. Got to say, it's the freedom of biking. It's the one thing that most people think of. It's that go anywhere sentiment, go anywhere mentality, as it were. Hop on the bike and off you go. Parking, love the parking. Park almost anywhere, it doesn't cost you anything, although, hello sir. Although it has to be said that more and more councils and more places, especially places like London, are starting to charge for parking. So yeah, not all great on that front, but yeah, no, it is the fact that you don't have to pay for parking, the fact that you can park in most places. I see many people leave their bikes on the pavements. As long as you're not obstructing the foot traffic, then no problem. The third third thing that I really enjoy about the biking, hello sir, it's just the way you feel on the motorcycle. You are really part of the process. You're not sitting behind the wheel of a car and just, you know, pushing pedals and turning steering wheels. You really are part of the bike. And you're part of the entire process. I come down here to a steep corner, gear down, and get my body over, lean in, beautiful. And when you string it together, the sense of satisfaction that comes from that is just second to none. I can't describe it to anybody. You know, you just got to get on a bike and experience it for yourself. I want to stress now at this point that I am not an anti-car person. I love cars. I love cars and bikes. And in fact, I was never really into bikes at all. Cars were always my thing, and they still are. I think they always will be. I just prefer now the fact that I get the best of both worlds, that I get to enjoy this aspect of it, and then the motoring side of the car world as well. Don't want to keep a narrow mind about these things, do you? Things that I don't like about biking. It is impractical. If you want to go out for a ride, I know there's many of you that'll probably just hop on in a t-shirt and shorts. I do not recommend that. Safety first, kids. But yeah, it means that, you know, when you want to go out for a ride, you've got to put all the layers on, stick your leathers on, stick your boots on, helmet, all the rest of it. And then the fact is that if the weather's not great, you've got to be a pretty die-hard biker to get out on the bike. I am very much a fair weather biker. This is the weather that I live for. This is why I bought a bike. If it's raining, I'm quite happy to leave it at home. Kind of kills all the fun. To the back end of the loop here, and if I carry on straight, it's going to take me towards Weston-super-Mare. I'm not going to take you all the way to the coast today, folks. Thank you. But what I'm going to do is find somewhere to pull up and give you a proper look at the bike. Predominantly farmlands out here in the West Country, you may have noticed. Lots of open plains. Still very scenic, very nice. Looking forward to when summer sets in proper. Currently in spring, and you can see all the trees and the flowers are starting to bloom. But when all this foliage really starts to come out, I think it's going to be something quite spectacular. On these street triples, they're just something else. That triple cylinder, kind of the best of both worlds. It's as smooth as a 4-cylinder, but it's as pokey and grunty as a twin. I don't half rev too. It's got power in every single gear, at every single point on the rev range. Absolutely wonderful. Just wants to go. Be careful though, you can get yourself into some trouble pretty quickly. Oh dear. There's the one downside of living out here. Tractors. Yeah. Tractors, cyclists and horses. I haven't got anything against the horses and cyclists. You're entitled to your hobby. But it does get in the way of mine. Okay, I'm going to try and find somewhere to pull over here. I'm not going to sit and wait for this. In fact, it's going to be here. This will do.